This is some McClelland 9 to 5 I got from Mars Cigar and Tobacco in Pennsylvania. Nice ribbon cut, you know, the dark, the light. Supposedly a Dunhill 965 replacement. No way. If you've ever smoked, if you ever had the pleasure, well, if you ever had the experience of smoking or smelling out of the tin, Dunhill 965, now that was a distinctive tobacco. When I first smelled it, I thought, you have got to be kidding. What is that stuff? You know, it kind of repulsed me, actually. It was kind of strong. And took a few times smoking it to get into it. But, boy, talk about flavor, talk about aroma. Whoa. 965 for me is kind of the pinnacle of a Balkan blend. A lot of Oriental, really intensely aromatic in the sense of not added flavorings, but just the distinction of the tobacco just comes right at you. Wow. Supposedly that's being re-released, made in the EU somewhere, I don't know where. We'll see. You know, the last iteration was okay. It wasn't quite the same as the one I'd first tried some years ago. But we'll see how they do with it. This, however, is not a stunt double for 9 to 5. No way, no how. It's a pleasant, very nice. I'd almost call it innocuous. It is just slightly darker than beige. So, anyway, so much for that. Everybody seems to have their 965 equivalent, and they aren't at all. I don't know how they can even make that claim. Never found nothing like 965. So this looks like a custom built, it'd be like a craggy custom built, extra rusticated. In fact, it's a Middleton rough root, rugged root. US made pipe back in the 50s, I expect. Oh yeah, nice. Good smoking shape too. Now, I was going to smoke out in the garden shed, but I went out there this morning and there was a big rat in a trap I'd set. I have to admit, rats kind of freak me out. I mean, not hopelessly, but yeah, kind of yuck. So the trap was rebaited. I had used all my peanut butter. I had a little gathering on Friday night and made some curry and some satay with peanut sauce, so I used up all my peanut butter. So I put some peanut sauce in there. So we'll see how sophisticated these rats are. If they go for the satay peanut sauce in the trap, we'll see. I'll get some more peanut butter sometime soon. Yeah, I can remember when I was in my early 20s, I was working at the Colorado State Parks, and it was getting to be the off season, and they had closed the campground where I had been living, and there was kind of an apartment, sort of, down in the maintenance shop. I mean, this is an isolated place, and So they said, you want to move in down there and be security for us? And I said, well, sure, free rent. So I moved in. They said, oh, there's a few mice here. Okay. So I bought a bunch of mouse traps and just set them all around. You know, there are probably 10 traps. So the first night, I turn out the lights and I crawl into my sleeping bag. And I'm telling you, not more than a minute later, snap, 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 snap. Turn out the lights and the mice were active. And every trap was sprung in like, well, all right, maybe 5 minutes. It was crazy. So, you know, you empty them out and then set them back. Within 5 minutes, they were all set again. I mean, this place was loaded with mice. If I knew then what I know now about hantavirus and so forth, you know, it probably would have been a very unhealthy environment. We didn't really know back then. So I got a cat. Yeah, Cuddles. Cuddles was this big, orange, mean as shit cat. Unneutered male. So he was spraying around. But boy, could he take care of himself. Wow. And what do you know? You know, after a while, the traps weren't catching anything. So Cuddles was doing his job. Every time you'd see him, he had a mouse in his mouth. But Cuddles had to leave when the park manager was giving a tour, and he was walking down the hallway with some state dignitaries, or I don't know who was with him, somebody important. And Cuddles leaps down from and onto his shoulders, and he about had a coronary. And it probably felt like a cougar, you know. And so that was goodbye to Cuddles. So I continued with my traps, but he'd done his job, and so there were only the occasional mice in the traps. But my trap line. If only we could have done something with the tiny hides, you know. So anyway, rats are a whole different dimension. So I'll make sure I plug up all the holes as well as I can. Boy, that's tough in a garden shed. It's kind of a loose little building anyway. Yeah, this is quite pleasant. Nothing to write home about, though. Go back to the drawing board, McClelland. Give it another try.